Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the Memphis Grizzlies versus Portland Trail Blazers game on July 31st on Friday. This is for the DFS slate. This is the second game of the day. NBA's back. I'm really excited. This is a game that there's really not too many injuries, too many crazy things going on, like the Brooklyn Orlando game we talked about in the last video. But it's still a game we gotta break down, gotta get into. If you're new here, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out and help me grow the channel, and they're very much appreciated. If you want to get more of my content, just subscribe to my Patreon. It's only $10 a month for. You're gonna get a cheat sheet. So you're gonna get a cheat sheet, projections, an article every single day. You're gonna get salary tier rankings and a cash score for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, Daily Fantasy Sports, Super Draft, and Fantasy Draft. All 5 of those, only $10 a month. If you play any of the if you play more than one of the apps other than DraftKings, or if you don't play DraftKings and you play just FanDuel and Super Draft, I got all that for you, got all that covered. So make sure to come check that out. Make sure to follow me on social media at DFS Nate Lane on Twitter and at NateLane_ on Instagram. I like to talk about sports on those all the time. I'm very active on them, talking about basketball, football, baseball, NASCAR, pretty much any sport you want to talk about, fantasy football, fantasy sports in general. So come check me out over there, have a conversation with me about sports, ask me questions about DFS. I'll answer any of that for you. Without further ado, let's get into this game. All right, so we have Memphis and Portland. This is a game, actually, this is honestly my most excited game to watch tomorrow. I am very much excited to watch these two teams play against each other. So if we come over to the Vegas lines, there it is a total of 222. It's a higher game total on the slate. It's not the highest, but it's definitely up there. I like this total. I like where it's at. You have a team line for the Memphis Grizzlies of 111.3, which is one less than they normally score on average, and 113.3 for Portland Trail Blazers, which is pretty much, it's 0.3 less, but on par with what they do on average. So a good, nothing too negative, positive there. That's going to really skew anything hard one way. So it's just going to be a very good game. When we look at pace, the Memphis Grizzlies played a pace of 106.2 possessions per 100 possessions, and the Memphis Grizzlies played a pace of 104.4. So it is a slight pace up spot for Portland and a slight pace down spot for Memphis, but really nothing too drastic. That's really going to make a huge difference. So really this one all comes down to, what this game really comes down to more than anything is just positive and negative matchups and minutes played and who's injuries and stuff. But there's really not many injuries on this game. If anything, there's guys that are playing that haven't played all year, which is going to make it even harder than anything. But that's for Portland. We'll start with Memphis. The first guy I want to talk about is Dillon Brooks. He's 5,100 on DraftKings. At the moment, I have him projected for 28 minutes per game. Obviously, that can change between now and the time the game starts. He has a usage rate of 25% on the year and an assist rate of 10% on the year. So you need most of his points from shooting. That's how he just jacks up a ton of shots. That's what he's done all year. If you want Dillon Brooks to score, that's how you got to get him to score. He's a 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy. So not a high fantasy point per minute guy, but when he's hot, he's going to do good. But he's not going to do a lot for you on the assists and rebounds. When we look at his matchup, he does have a negative matchup, not by a lot, just a slight negative matchup for Dillon Brooks here. That's for his the wing, but the combo guard position in Portland, it's a positive matchup for Brooks. So he does have it's kind of a middling matchup for Dillon Brooks. So I think he's got a solid matchup, someone I want to look at. It's just there's a lot of guys in the slate. He's not like Dillon Brooks. If you want to throw a GPP dart at him, that's fine. It's just not someone I'm too excited about. Brandon Clark, one of my favorite rookies this year, 4,100 on DraftKings. I have him right now projected for 21 minutes. I can see him doing a little bit more. I want a little more than that if on a large slate like this for GPPs. But, he does have the upside. He's a high point per minute guy, 1.09, and he's going to do more for you than just score. He gets a lot of rebounds, 14.1% percentage rebound percentage. So that's very good for Brandon Clark. If we're looking at his matchup, he has 2 positive matchups as big and forward. So Brandon Clark looks very good on the matchup side. It's just I don't know how many minutes I don't know if we can really expect him to play a lot more minutes than what I have right now for 21. And we can get maybe 23, 24, 25. And if he hits 25, 26 minutes, he's going to be great value at 4,100. But I'm just not 100% sure we can get there. Up next is my favorite play in this game, Jaren Jackson Jr. Because for whatever reason, DraftKings decided to make him 4,900. I mean, I don't get that. Jaren Jackson is a rising star in the league, believe it or not. If you haven't watched him play, watch him play tomorrow. This guy is really good at basketball. He's going to be an elite big man in the NBA, an all-star caliber player in the NBA, but he's in Memphis, and everyone talks about Moran, not Jaren Jackson. But besides that, right now I have him projected for 28 minutes. He's a 1.066 point per minute guy, and he's only 4,900. Like, I mean, if you're getting a guy at 28 minutes at 1 point per minute, that he a 1.06 point per minute, I mean, he's going to exceed that pretty well. He only needs, I mean, if he just has 1 point per minute, he's outplaying his salary, and if he can get to 1.06, he's going to outplay it by even more. So, yeah, Jaren Jackson looks very good. 23.9 usage percentage, not a high assist or rebound percentage, but he is very good on defense. Does get some blocks for you here and there. When we look at the matchup for Jaren Jackson, it is two positive matchups as well. Portland, not a very sound defensive team. Portland's allowing 3 more points on average to bigs than the rest of the league, and they're allowing 1 more for forwards than the rest of the league. So, yeah, Jaren Jackson, a very good matchup, very good player for way too cheap of a price. Next I want to talk about is Moran at 7,000. He's a point guard. The star of this team. He's not even the most expensive player in this team, which is shocking to me, but that's besides the fact. He's going to play the most minutes on the team. He is the best player of the team. He's a future star point guard in the NBA, future star of the Memphis Grizzlies. Already really is a star. Averages 1.1 point per minute at 7,000. I have him projected for 30 minutes, which is good. He has a good usage rate, 26%, most on the team, and the highest assist rate on the team of 34.6. Not going to do a lot for you on their boards, but he's going to get you a lot of assists and going to score some points. So yeah, Moran's good. I mean, his price is right around where it should be. It's just nothing like that really stands out to me by any means. But he does have a positive matchup in the point guard department. Damien Lord has been just terrible guarding all year. Portland allows 3 more points than average on the league to point guards. So yeah, Moran looks very good for me. It's just his salary is just like, if he was a little cheaper, I'd be like, oh man, Moran. Which, I mean, he's still good. He's still a good play. And I mean, it's Moran. These are two teams that need to get in the playoffs, so you know he's going to put the team on his back. But just not someone I'm like completely like ecstatic to play here. But I do like Moran. I think he's a good play. I like Moran and Jaren Jackson a good bit. Jonas Valanciunas is too expensive for me at 7,800. I'm just not interested in that. I mean, only have him projected for 26 minutes. It's not like he's getting all the center minutes on this team. I mean, this team spreads out the minutes a lot. Valanciunas gets some center minutes. Jaren Jackson gets center minutes. Gorgie Jang gets some center minutes. Brandon Clark gets some center minutes. So, like, if he was going to play, if I knew he was going to play, like, at least 30 a game, then yeah, maybe. But he's just too expensive at 7,900. He is a high point per minute guy at 1.29. He has a high rebound percentage of 22.4. But, and it's a good matchup for him. It's just not someone I want to go to for that price. All right, let's get into the Portland Trailblazers. We're going to start off. This is an interesting team. So on the injury side, Trevor Ariza is not playing in the bubble, and Rodney Hood's been out for the season for a long time. So I mean, that's really not going to affect too much if you've been playing NBA DFS for a while. But it does open up some wing minutes where Gary Trent was getting them a lot this year, and Anthony Simons was playing. CJ McCollum was really getting the minutes there, but those were the guys on the floor. Mario Hezonja gets some run, but now you got some other guys that are back too. Like Zach Collins is back. He got hurt first week of the season, and he hasn't been back since. And now he's back. I mean, that's the front court's just a disaster on this team right now. Yusuf Nurkic is back as well. Hasn't played all year. Broke his leg last year against Brooklyn. I was watching that game. I remember that. It was terrible. But yeah, Nurkic is back as well. So it's just clogs in the front court. Hassan Whiteside's been there all year, and he's going to be pretty pricey on his slate. But I just don't know if he's guaranteed all the minutes at the front court. And same thing with Carmelo Anthony. Like, is he guaranteed minutes at the 4, or are they going to move him to the 3 and put Zach Collins back at the 4? This is truly going to be a game time slot where you're going to be looking at this game. Like, if Zach Collins tries to start at power forward at 3,000, he's going to be a lock. Right now, I have him only projected for 17 minutes this game, but I think that could rise for sure. I mean, especially if he gets to start. He should start, and they should move Melo to the 3. That's what the lineup should be, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll adjust these. If you subscribe to the Patreon, all of these all adjusted before lock for every single game. It's late swap for every website this week, so yeah, I'll be adjusting things throughout the day daily, so you won't be left in the dark by me on if you're subscribed to the Patreon. So, and if you are coming back, if you're watching this video after the slate's already locked and the Orlando Brooklyn game didn't go your way, like, this is where you're coming to check out and find some contrarian plays or some ways to go. Like, now Zach Collins is starting. If you see Zach Collins is starting now, then yeah, that's a great way to go. But right now, I don't think he's going to start. And if he isn't starting, I have him about probably somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. I think he's a solid option, though, if he is starting, even at 15 to 20 minutes, at 3,000. He's a high point per minute. No, he's not. 0.6 per minute guy. Sorry. Thought I was talking about Nurkic for a second. Jeez. No, Zach Collins, if he does not draw to start, is not someone I'm interested in playing. But if he does at 3,000, I mean, it's just such a value. And that's going to be this whole slate. There's so much value because DraftKings didn't price up anybody. And so many, guys are going to either start or get a ton of minutes at the minimum price. And Collins could just end up being another one. And if he doesn't get announced that he's starting until right before that game starts or right before lock, he's going to be low owned, and that could be a guy to go to. Up next, I want to talk about Damien Lord. Of course, he is 9,300 on DraftKings, which if Damien Lillard plays like he was for that one stretch in the season at 9,300, I mean, he's just so undervalued. I mean, there was a stretch in the season where he's averaging 55 points per game. At DraftKings points, and I mean, he's only 9,300 now. He was up to the 10K range every single day at that point. I have him projected for 37 minutes. If Portland has any chance of making the playoffs, Damien Lord's got to go off. He's got to carry his team, and I just expect that to happen. He has the highest usage rating of the team by a lot of 30.2 and the highest assist rate of 34.1, and he's shooting most shots per game. And the matchup is it's positive. It's negative by just a little bit, but I don't even care. All these matchups are pretty much negative on this whole slate for Portland. Memphis is a pretty good defensive team, but if Damien Lillard's just jacking up shots, it's gonna be a great play. If I'm playing a lot of lineups, I want some exposure to Damien Lillard tomorrow. Next guy I want to talk about is McCollum at 7,500. I think McCollum's a solid play again, a 1.03 point per minute guy, but 7,500 just seems a little pricey for me for CJ McCollum. He's going to need to get you 37 to 5x and 45 to 6x, and then any more would be fantastic, but I just don't expect him to really get there. He's a 26.7 usage percent guy, 19.3 assist percent guy. Not going to get you any rebounds. If you want to go look at the matchup, it is a positive matchup. Memphis is allowing 2 more points per game to combo guards than the field, and they are allowing 1 more point per game to wings than the field. So yeah, McCollum's fine. He's got good matchups across the board. I just think he's too expensive. I don't think he's going to pay off that 70. I think he might be able to 5x it, but to win tournaments, you need 6x, and you're going to need CJ McCollum to get absolutely hot. He has looked good in the scrimmages, though, to be fair, so I think that's fine. Yusuf Nurkic at 5,900. It's another interesting one. He's not starting over Whiteside. He hasn't played in a whole year. I don't expect him to get a lot of run. I do have him projected for 22 minutes, but I think I'm going to take that down a little bit. I just don't see any way. They got to, they have to ease him back in, maybe 10 minutes this game, and just slowly ease him back in. Maybe for the playoffs, he's big. I mean, Yusuf Nurkic is a better player than Hassan Whiteside. He should be the one starting. It's just I don't think he's ready yet. I'm not willing to take that risk on Nurkic. If for whatever reason he ends up drawing to start, then I mean, shoot, that's gonna be a great play to have. But other than that, I just don't see it. And same thing with Hassan Whiteside. Just the front court minutes are just a mess. We don't know what Hassan Whiteside is going to get, and if he's Ivram right now for 27 minutes, he can end up having more. We'll see. I'm really interested to see what the beat writers for Portland are saying and telling me about how the minutes for Nurkic and Collins are going to be. And if they're not going to play, or they're going to play very, very limited, then yeah, Hassan Whiteside's fine at 8,100. But for now, I mean, he's just not what I want. Honestly, even at that price, the matchup's not great. It's okay. Pretty much an even matchup across the board. I mean, he's decent price. He may be a little bit underpriced if he can get that point per minute up, but yeah, I mean, there's another big center on the other side that's going to hold Hassan Whiteside down and Valanciunas, so I'm just not overly excited about him anyway. But yeah, this is going to be a game, especially for Portland, where you're going to want to make sure you're up to date like immediately and get ready, get going, and just know what's going on. That's going to give you a huge edge on this slate. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to Patreon, follow me on social media. All those things help me out a ton. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys win some money this